Did we borrow a John Deere Power Ranger from Best Impressions and mess up their cart?
I believe we own that.
You
I
bought
had
it?
to go out and limb here.
Okay.
Unless Aaron, did that have one of those by chance? I believe that's the city's.
Alright.
One of the gators for the park insurance.
We've got two of them.
He's the one that's making the statement, I don't know what's going on, but I have a feeling
We
it's
have
our
two
gator.
of them.
Well, it's an interesting line item, $1,500. Check written to them, unless they got a crack mechanic out there.
Call the city council meeting to order.
Augubright.
Here.
Cullinan. Curran.
Here.
Mieski. Here. Rivera.
Here. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Need a motion and second to approve the minutes of the July sixth, 2020 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the July sixth, 2020 regular meeting.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski. Aye. Rivera.
Aye. Public comments on agenda items only. Having none, we'll move. Need a motion to, and second to approve the bills as presented for payment.
Augubright.
I'll second it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Excuse me.
It was a long pause, I guess.
Sorry. Augubright.
No.
Cullinan.
Yes.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski. Aye. Rivera.
Aye. Approve ordinance 1119-072020, an appropriation ordinance for the city of Oglesby for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2020 and ending April 30th, 2021. Discussion?
Well, if we need to approve it or we won't have our tax money. This is
I'll make a
one of
motion.
the things that goes.
I'll make a
We
motion
have to
to
have
approve
that.
1119-072020, an appropriations ordinance for the city of Oglesby for the fiscal year beginning May 1, 2020 and ending April 30th, 2021.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Approve ordinance 1120-072020, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an easement agreement between the city of Oglesby and Ameren, Illinois Company, Ameren, Illinois.
I don't know if there's any more discussion that needs on this one, so I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1120-072020, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an easement agreement between the city of Oglesby and Ameren, Illinois Company, Ameren, Illinois.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye.
One thing on that, Amy, we need to make sure that you get it signed and Dom signs it. And we gotta, either you can get it to me and I'll get it down to make sure Ameren signs it, but we ought to have a signed copy of that. Because there's indemnification language, it's normally if we signed it, we give it to Ameren, you know, they just record it, but there's indemnification language in there, so we wanna make sure we get a signed copy of
Certified
that.
or just sign?
Or,
You want it certified or just sign?
no, I just care that we get it, that somebody from Ameren besides us, you know, signs it, and we've got a signed copy back.
Okay.
That says approve ordinance 1121-072-020. An ordinance amending chapter 28, water and service regulation of Title 13, public utilities of the Oglesby City Code.
And again, what this ordinance is doing is this allows us to sell bulk water for like tankers and stuff for people that are outside of the city, they're not owning a business here. There's no questions on that. I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 1121-072020, an ordinance amending chapter 28, water service regulations of Title 13, public utilities of the Oglesby City Code.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Place on file ordinance 1107-080320, an ordinance amending ordinance 1024-061818, entitled an ordinance establishing wages for Oglesby ambulance employees.
What this ordinance is to increase up to 3 individuals to be able to work over 1,000 hours, and keeping it under 1,800, so they do not incur the IMRF benefits. It's just a staffing issue. What's happening is Kathy is not able to appropriately staff the department. She's picking up a lot of the areas where there's a hole, and really working 50 upwards to 60 hours a week, being paid for only 40. Are there questions about that? We currently have 2 individuals who are able to work over 1,000 hours.
So these 3 people won't qualify for
No,
IMRF?
they will not qualify for IMRF, so the benefits are not an issue.
Okay, that's all I had.
Good, no other questions then? And I'd like to make a motion to place on file 1107-080320, an ordinance amending the ordinance 1024-061818, entitled an ordinance establishing wages for Oglesby ambulance employees.
I'll second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Next is, discuss and approve / deny Foster's repair to the old fire station building. There's, basically 3 bits. Spellage is, to repair his bit, it's $14,083. Masonry, from just masonry is $4,900. And the bids from Company and Sons Roofing and Repair is $11,145. Talked to Spellage, he says that he may be able to, after he get into it, maybe do it for a little less. Basically, what we would be getting is repairing a structure that's been let go. We're gonna take make that one bay available for space. That bay is 80 foot long. The first 30 feet is 12 plus feet. The next 50 feet is 10 plus feet. So we should be able to store every piece of equipment that the city has in that. And I think we need to go ahead. It's almost criminal in a sense to leave that building keep going in this respect.
I think we should've got multiple bids, but I'll make a motion to approve cost repairs for the old fire station building.
I'll second the motion.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Discuss and approve / deny addition to the Parks and Recreation Building with a contract to be awarded without competitive bidding. And that bid on that price, if I put them together correctly and my math is right, is $23,768. The only thing I found that isn't in the bid is the electric and heat. And I assume that that would come sometime.
I believe the electrical department was gonna do the electrical, and the heat was gonna come from what they currently have in the two bays. Cause they were gonna open it up so it could get heat in there. And I think we should use 20,000, or 20, how much is it?
23,768.
So almost 24,000. I think the parks could definitely use that little bit of investment, since we've spent multiple hundreds of thousands on utilities in the last 6 to 9 months, and the park district hasn't gotten anything, while the utilities have been spending all of the TIF money, so I think this is a project we should do.
Well, I don't think we can say the Parks hasn't gotten anything.
TIF wise?
I don't know if they got it out of tip or not, probably not.
What did we do this year? What did the parks get this year? And what's a gator? What did we?
They got a new lawnmower that was $13,500. They got a spraying backpack that was about $1,400 or $1,700. We spent $5,000 on planting new trees at Lehigh Park. On the parks, we spent over $11,000 on cutting some dead trees out of there that needed to be done.
And evidently we spent $1,500 to rebuild the transmission for the down here.
Gordon?
So that's about what we're gonna spend on this one expansion, is what we spent all year. That's how I feel about it, but we can spend the TIF through utilities, so that's fine.
Can TIF money be used for this?
Yes, that building's in TIF 1.
That's the one that's going to expire.
Yes, that will expire next year.
Again, I don't have an issue with what they're trying to do. I think there's value in what he showed me. It seemed like it was a lot for 23,000. I think it's actually a relatively good deal, and it's a good place to store it. I don't have an issue with it. My concern is, as long as we can afford both of these. Because I do think the fire department building has more importance. I'm not saying they're the exact same, they're not gonna solve the exact same problems. But the fire department one is critical for us because it stores more than just the parks department. And it stores many thousands of dollars of equipment that we need to operate the city.
So we went in as this is a one or the other kind of vote?
No, I'm not saying that. I just wanna make sure that, because we've had a discussion about this, and I have a lot of concerns about the amount that we've been taking out of TIF lately. Granted, there are things that we absolutely need. We needed a $500,000 transformer. I get it. We need to do $130,000 for a water tower recoat. I get it. And you know, I was putting $799,000 away for us to possibly get a new water main that's $3 million. I get that. I'm just concerned about the number of little microtransactions that we've been taking out of TIF.
Which would be utilities department, if I'm mistaken?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so why has that been happening?
What's,
Because we need
why do we
everything.
need a $500,000?
I think you need to start prioritizing where you spend your money, is what we're getting to here.
You don't think we needed to?
Oh, we're gonna get the one thing that we had to have, yeah. But I bet if I go through your list, there's some things that you could have pushed off.
I'd love to hear that. I would love to hear
Everything had to happen right now.
What,
We might as well start raising our taxes now on real estate.
if
because I
you
don't know how
wanna
we're
give me
gonna
an
afford it.
example of something that you don't think we needed, I'd love to hear it. Because what you don't know is that I do challenge my department and say, do we need that? Do we need a $9,000 pump in a lift station that went out? Yes, we do. You know, so there's things like that that do happen. Believe me, I don't wanna be spending money we don't have to be spending on things. So if there's something specific, I would love to hear it. Be more than
I'll
welcome
have to read through your list, that's
I'd
quite a
love to
bit
hear.
long, but take my
Sure.
time and
You betcha.
highlight the good stuff.
Sounds good. Again, I don't have an issue with approving that. I just wanna make sure that we think, that everybody thinks the value is there.
So you do not?
I said, I believe it does. If you tell me you think the value is there for it and we can afford it, then I'm all for it.
I do as well. Should I make a motion to approve addition to the Parks and Rec building with contract to be awarded without competitive bidding?
Did you make the motion? Or-
Yes.
Okay, I thought you asked the question. I'll second it.
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Approve, deny the request from Casey General Store to offer curbside delivery of alcohol.
So, our ordinance didn't cover this before?
It doesn't prohibit it, and it doesn't allow it.
Okay.
So, as liquor commissioner, I think the mayor can do it either way. And when I talked to him, I think, we ought to discuss it. My thought was, since I guess we're allowing it for some of our to-go places that are serving food, and if you wanna pick up a six-pack or a bottle of wine, you
Yeah.
can do it. So, my suggestion to the mayor was that we allow it for Casey's just like we are for the other places, but only during the time when we're stuck with the corona, you know, when we're under the coronavirus restrictions. Because, you know, I don't think it's hard to imagine you could have a real difficult time enforcing underage sales, which I don't think is going on now anywhere, but, you know, the whole idea that the drive up. Maybe,
Yeah.
if we didn't have this special situation, you know, I think I would suggest that you wanna talk to the chief, cause that, you know, that may be a real heck of a problem to, you know, to monitor, but we got the special situation that we're in. We're allowing other businesses to do it. I can tell you that I think this is a form request that has come out from their corporate headquarters, cause I know Spring Valley got the same one, and I mean, when I say the same, it was the exact same letter. So, I think that it's just something that they're asking all over, and what I mentioned to the mayor was that if we're allowing other businesses to do it, I don't know how we could say,
Yeah.
you can do it, and, you know, you can't do it.
It's not open beer that we're giving to them.
Yeah.
It's packaged liquor.
And I
You
think,
can
you
do
know,
it at
again,
Hy-Vee, so.
we'll revisit after when, God, let's hope eventually when we're, you know, through this mess, then we would probably not wanna, you know, be allowing other places to do it.
And so that new law, Illinois passed, is that just for like mixed drinks?
Which one's that now?
They can put mixed drinks in a cup as long as there's a lid on it or something
Yeah, I think
now?
that probably deals more with illegal transportation of
Okay.
alcohol. You're not supposed to have any broken seals. So
Okay.
that would be, they probably amended the illegal transportation rule.
All right.
Is this just because it was a general statement for like all cases or something nationwide? Because I don't see if there's anything that's illegal with it already. If it's I mean, you go to Hy-Vee, you order a bunch of stuff, they bring it out to your vehicle as it is. I don't think that's anything that's already currently against.
No, it's not against your ordinance. I think these folks are just asking for it all over, because that's
Okay.
not their typical way that they, you know, it's usually when you go in, you buy it, you pay for it inside, you bring it out.
Okay.
And I think, you know, when we're through coronavirus, that may make sense for all of our, you know,
Yeah.
establishments. But,
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the request from Casey's General Store to offer curbside delivery of alcohol.
Second?
Augubright.
Aye.
Cullinan. Curran.
Aye.
Mieski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Approve a request from Dan Moore to have septic system
within the Oglesby city limits.
So, a little bit about this here. So this was on, we tabled it last time. It was on there. Within the next day or two, I went and I personally looked at the property. I took a look at it. I don't feel like there's an issue. I'm not concerned personally that there is an issue with any problem to residents or anything like that. However, upon looking at our ordinance, so they did get a verbal from the LaSalle County Health Department. The problem is, our ordinance specifically says for this, that we need to have written approval for construction of such facilities, and they've been provided by the LaSalle County Health Department. So, I don't know if it's just because they're busy with everything going on with coronavirus, but they have not been able to provide that yet. We thought we'd be able to get that in today, that's why as of Friday, I still put this on there, on the agenda, but I still don't have it. And I talked to the gentleman, I said, I don't want to be bending and breaking rules. That's not what I want to try to do, because they do have a requirement to provide something written to make sure that it was okay. So I feel terrible, but I'd like to table this for a future one until I get that written out.
And there's no way you can make like a contingency that
Well, I
you get the
suppose you could
written.
approve a contingent, but and if the deal is we don't wanna make someone wait 2 weeks, which, be our next meeting, I suppose we could approve it, but it would be contingent upon getting what you're looking for, the written
Okay.
report from the health department. I think you can do that,
Really?
but yes.
So what happens if we never get that written report from the
Well,
health
you're not
department?
It's
gonna,
not
no, they
approved.
don't get it, they can't start with the work
Got it.
until you get the report. I'm just saying, if the report comes in Wednesday this week, then somebody doesn't have to delay, until, the first Monday in August, August 6th or whatever, you
Yeah.
don't have to delay that
Okay.
one.
Is he trying to build this year?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, so
So-
sooner the better then.
All right, let me think. Is everybody okay with that? I'll think of a way to word this then. Okay.
It was just approve it, contingent
I
upon.
got you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the request from Don Moore to have a septic sewer system within the city, Oglesby city limits, contingent upon us receiving the written approval from the LaSalle County Health Department prior to any construction.
Second.
Augubright.
Aye.
Colin. Curran.
Aye.
Bianski.
Aye.
Rivera.
Aye. Is there anything under old business? Having none, public comments?
I have one there.
George?
Okay. George Cullinan and Commissioner Lieski. This is a friendly one. Hey, tonight in the paper, they had the renewal for the patrolman's hiring board, for the test.
Okay.
And I understand the importance of having a test up and ready to run.
Mhm.
What I want to know is, and you got the chief here, is, last time I looked at statistics, they were 2 officers for every 1,000 people. Is that still?
I heard that in about 1991. I don't know if it
Okay, I'm
still
not
stands
sure
or
what
not.
it is today, but I just want to know, does the city plan on hiring a patrolman on this day? Is it in everybody's head that we're gonna hire one? Or is it just putting everything online for I think it's 2 years for the
Right.
test?
We've actually, we're down to 2 candidates left on the current list.
Right,
We hope to be able to recommend one at the next city council meeting, leaving 1 left on the list. So we had to go ahead and we're going to be retesting August, I can't think of the date, do you remember, Chief? When we're retesting?
August 11th and 12th.
Okay, so retesting 11th and the interviews on the 12th. So hopefully we'll get some more candidates, and that will then be for the next 2 years, our list.
right, but right now, there's no immediate plan to say, we need to go to 9 sworn officers, or?
Yes, we have a fire and police board meeting tomorrow night, and we'll hope to get a recommendation to hire an officer that passed all of her physical and polygraph and everything else.
Yeah, I understand the problem with the vacation, and you got a lot of officers now that are coming up to
Yes.
that point where, but, I don't mind the electric department, we're always needing people there, and God forbid, my heart still goes with the police department. But I don't know where the people are gonna come up with the money for it, I'm serious on that. I mean, when you're talking about the pension, you're talking about everything involved, it's a big chunk of money.
Yes, it is.
And we don't, I understand through what I read, we have money coming in the future for items, but, you know, I'm capped out.
Mhm.
And it's not you, it's everything
Yes.
encompassing the city. And I just wanted to find out if there is a chance you're looking at 9, or you're just, you know, feeling the water out. So, you're saying there will be 9?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
thinking, I'm trying to count it, I'm coming up with 7, so.
Yeah, because you got 8 sworn officers, you're gonna go to 9 sworn officers. Okay. Thank you.
Greg Sonny, Olsey. I was in here today showing the mayor this picture, and when I was down at the canoe ramp on Saturday, I had the guy shoot a picture of me and slipping and sliding up the canoe ramp after the rainfall that Peoria got on, what was it, Thursday? That 8 inches of rain swamped our canoe landing again with a bunch of mud, and it was really slippery. They had a full people out rafting the Vermilion. And he snapped a picture of me, and I said I'd mention it to you guys so that I think maybe, I know that putting cement walls or pound some steel pilings in so that we can create a berm where the sloshing, and I'm not even sure that would work. You know, it didn't seem to
City
work.
engineer?
It didn't seem to work very well over there at Bardo's where they put that jetty of rock out there, so I don't know, but maybe we could go down there and shovel it out every time the river floods up.
So I know that, my street guys do some work with that along with the Parks Department. As far as the specifics about the cement walls or something, I'll talk with Commissioner Cullen about that, and we will look into that and give you a report of how possible that is in the future.
Mayor, Council, my name is Perry Meyer, and I'm from Illinois Public Health Association, and I just wanted to give a little update on the census. As you know, that's happening right now. So Illinois is at 66.9%, and as a city of Oglesby, you're at 72.3%. So you're a little bit higher than the average, but you're actually lower than where you were in 2010. So the key is that we have to get that word out to the community. So in the past, I've worked with the post office. I put signs up there. I gave some information to the library. But as you know, libraries are open and closing just because of COVID and all of that other. So it's very important that you put this information on your city website and have hyperlinks to everything. So your population is about 3,600. And if 5% of your population doesn't answer, which equals about 180 people, you times that by 1,400, because that's about what your average for that is. You're at 252,000 a year. So that's a nice chunk of change. And then you take it one step further and times it by 10 years, because this money is allocated every 10 years. So you're looking at 2.5 million. over 10 years. So this is great money that comes in to be able to, be able to support infrastructure. The other thing is that this is all about power and money. So we already know we're gonna lose one person in the House. We're getting really close to losing a second person. So my statement to all of you is that tell 10 people, hey, you've got to fill this out. Now I know that there were issues of update leave where there were some communities in the deeper south of Illinois that just got their paperwork 2.5 weeks ago. So you have a whole bunch of people who never got their information. So you can do this 3 ways. You can do it online. It takes you 5 minutes. I have a family of 5. The hardest question on there was when I had to determine what race was. Just because my dad was Danish and my mom is Norwegian, and I always thought we were German. So that was the hardest question on there for me. But they're not asking anything that is going to, about social security numbers and any of that other stuff. So 5 minutes, 7 minutes maybe for some people. The other is by phone. And the thing is with phone, keep in mind COVID is also happening in DC. So they don't have as many people as they hope to have manning the phones. So you have people on hold for 2 hours. So my suggestion is to go online. In the time that I've talked up here, you could have gone on your phone and did my 2020 census.gov and probably completed it. So the key is make sure that you tell people to do the census, and this is all of your money. When we pay our federal taxes, that goes into DC, that money needs to come back out here to help pay for that. So my statement to everyone is to make sure that you have the information that you need regarding the census. If you didn't get your little code, it's okay. You can still do it without that code. If there's any help or any groups that you guys are part of, and you'd like me to go out and say, hey, I'd be more than happy with that. I know that I met Amy probably about 3-4 months ago, it seems like, and then COVID came across, and then things were on hold. So please, do the census. Illinois is counting on it.
Are they extending the deadlines because of COVID, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So initially, the self-response was supposed to be done on July 1st. They've extended the self-response to October 31st.
Okay.
And so we know that the enumerators, those are the people who knock on the door, will be coming out mid-August. Sometimes they pop up a little bit early. The other thing is, if someone knocks on your door and says, I'm with the census, and I can do this for $10, close the door and call the police. There are a lot of scams out there. Census is free. Do not let anyone come to you and say, hey, I can help you fill this out, but I'm gonna need your social security number, your bank account, and all of that other. So when you're thinking about the roads, when you're thinking about schools, and you're thinking about Head Start, you're thinking about insurance and all of that stuff, that's all the money that comes back for census. So please, do your census.
What did you say was the percentage did it 10 years ago? 72 or something like that?
Last time it was 75.8, and right now you're at 72.3.
So we're close to
You are close.
getting better. Okay.
Right. But the key is, you don't want to leave any money on the table, and usually they tell us to use 1%, and so, yeah, I mean, I could just come up with 1%, but I think 5% kind of sends it home. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners report?
I have nothing to report tonight.
The police department did some calibrations and certifications of their radars. But I'd like to highlight one of our officers, Jack Barnes. He actually received a commendation from Chief Hayes for courage and professionalism on subject stranded call on July 11th. What he did was he responded to subjects stranded under the bridge. He risked his own safety in heavy rain and wind to assist the juveniles to safety. Once he got them into his squad car for their safety, he then continued down a muddy, slippery, and dangerous hill to to stop an elderly woman from sliding down the embankment into the river. So he had very heroic and unselfish actions, and I'd just like to highlight Officer Jack Barnes for that.
I don't think I have anything that courageous to put out here, but, okay, so a couple weeks ago, we had chipping. So we had a storm a couple weeks ago, and we put out a week ago that we'd be doing chipping this week. They've gone through the entire city, and we're able to complete it today. So it wasn't as much damage as I thought it was. They're continuing to do a lot of patching right now. The rising heat's been causing some separations in roadways around there. So if you do see that, especially during the day, please call dispatch. We'll make sure we get out to the guys to get out there and fix it. The new LED bulbs are in, I told you guys about in the past. Installations are going around town of updating streetlights or even some new ones. So you might be seeing a new streetlight at a new corner that had dim lighting or something like that. Last thing I got is I was really hoping we'd be able to have our video camera installation completed by now. The video camera that we selected was on back order. There is a chance it could come in the next 2 weeks. If it does, I already have a date set up. So if it does come in, we are going to be able to hopefully have it running before our next meeting. So hopefully that'll make the audio and visual qualities a little bit better. And that's all I got.
I spoke about DD, and he's also told me that he's still having some problems at the canoe landing with somebody driving off the road and driving up the hill and driving through the grass. And he wanted me to inform people that we do have surveillance under there now. We have surveillance cameras monitoring everything, and if we catch people that are running off road or damaging any of the property there, that we would charge them accordingly. That's all I've got.
Couple questions. The guy that rents the rafts did come in today and dropped a $500 donation to the Parks Department. When we help pay for the porta potty down there. The other thing is I'd like to get some ideas on dates of a working meeting. We've got issues to discuss, and we've had a couple of them. I thought they produced some decent dialogue, and would like to get one scheduled in August. So if you could kind of look at your dates and pick a date where we can get in there and schedule a meeting and discuss some issues that have come up with the city, and kind of look at identifying what some problems are and get a solution to them. We do have one more thing. We received a thank you to the mayor, commissioners, and city workers. It has been a pleasure working for you and with you. Thank you for the gift. I will miss being a part of Oglesby. I'll miss everyone as well. Jim Noblock. With that, if there be no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Albright.
Aye.